What's going on YouTube? 𝒂𝒃𝒕 here, and welcome back to Greenland. So in today's episode, we're gonna do something a little bit different, and we're gonna focus on fixing traffic in our city. So I've got the game currently paused because I've caught it at its weakest moment. So we are currently sitting at about 75% in traffic. And I've caught the troublesome areas that we're going to work on fixing. We've got this one right here, where you can see we've got quite a large backup over here at this intersection. And this is city traffic joining with industry traffic and whatnot, and extends all the way down this way. Now, another point of interest is going to be over here at the railroad crossings. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total of 8 railroad crossings that I could count. And most of these areas are pretty backed up. So we've got a backup right here and a backup right here. And this is probably the worst one. Then we've got some backup over here and a little bit over here on this side. Not so much on these 2-lane roads over here. So not too much traffic going through there. But today's goal is going to be to get the traffic, average traffic, over 80%. It kind of bounces between 75 and 79. And then another thing that we're going to do today is we have 0 public transit. So we're going to incorporate some buses to take care of this side of the city, so we can move on and work on this side on the next episode. So with that said, if you've ever had some traffic, some really annoying traffic in your city, give the video a like and a comment down below. Let me know what the most challenging part was for you. So with that, let's begin. And I'm sure that you guys did not miss this eyesore over here. Looks like we are a little bit low on water and sewage, actually. So in the last milestone, or the milestone before last, we unlocked these large water towers. So that's what I'm going to do to fix our current water supply issue. I'm going to upgrade those 2 there with the large towers, and I feel like we thought we had another one over here. Maybe not. So, but those 2 for now will work. And lucky for us, we do have a couple of backup inland water treatment plants over here that we are going to activate. Let's let the game run and see if that fixes that issue. And I think it should. We've got good water and good sewage, so we are all good to go. Now let's jump into fixing this traffic. So I want to start first and foremost with the railroads. Now this is going to require us going over the 4-lane road, which isn't necessarily realistic to have that many overpasses, I guess you would call them, but it's definitely necessary to fix the issue that we're having. So I'm thinking about if I should pause the game or not. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pause it. I don't wanna disrupt the supply chain, if you will, and then cause additional issues in the long run. So we'll go ahead and we'll get rid of all of the railroad over here, and we're gonna rebuild everything. So I've got to come to right about there. So we've gotten rid of every connection that we can. And I feel like when we get to over here, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to go over. We might have to figure something out. So remember, our traffic is now at 70%. I actually have not seen it that low. So at 70%, we're shooting for over 80%. So with that, let's go ahead and start rebuilding the railroad crossings. And this isn't going to be anything fancy. I'm going to do maybe a couple of these live, and then the rest I'll probably turn into a time lapse. So let's set our snap twos and road lengths and elevation steps properly. So we're gonna go up 1, 2, 3, and we're just gonna make a quick bridge across, and we're gonna do that there. We're gonna do the same thing here, and I feel like this one's gonna give us a little bit more trouble. And looks like we might have to fix that power line as well, which should be all right. We're doing this on a paused game. So let's come and we'll grab. Now I'm really just eyeballing all of this, and I'm hoping that everything is gonna line up. And see, this is the tricky part over here. Do we bridge all the way across and down this way? Let's see. It's not the worst. If you take a look at some of those really modern cities in China, they've got trains going through residential buildings. I'm not kidding. If you guys don't believe me, look it up. It's quite the sight. I was actually looking at it the other day. So we've got that there. I'm gonna leave this as a higher elevation, and then I'm thinking, should we just go high all the way across, or maybe go down? Let's go down. We'll come to about there and there. We'll run that all the way to about here, and we'll go up one and connect right there. So it's not, I'm not looking to have a very steep slope. Over here, we'll do the same thing. So we'll go down by 2, get the slope nice, and then we'll come all the way to here. We'll go up by 1, connect right there, and there we go. I'm gonna bring this one back just a little bit more, and might as well get rid of the power lines all throughout here, and we'll rebuild those as well. So now here I'm gonna go freeform, go down by 2. Now let's take a look at this slope right here, if it'll let us. And that's not too bad. I feel like we can do just a little bit better. Okay, here we go. That's a lot better in my opinion. So we've got that set right there. Before we forget, let's grab the power lines, and I'm just gonna come across for the time being, and we will follow the railroad, cross, and hook up right there. Now we didn't destroy the connection anywhere else, although this no longer hooks up, so we're gonna run that right there. So we've got the railroad everywhere except for here, and this is going to be the tricky part, as I mentioned before. What we could do is we could bridge all the way across, and let's start this over here from scratch. Now this I'm gonna turn into a time lapse because this is gonna take some time to figure out. But I'll show you guys the end result, and then I'll do my best to explain it. Okay, so I think we have figured this out some way, somehow. I might, in between episodes, try to make this look a little bit better, although I'm not sure how much better it could look, because this already looks all right. But that should get rid of the train traffic. So here's let's just start right over here, because this is the area in question. So we from this direction going down this way used to stop at this train station right here. We can still do that, but it's not a straight shot anymore. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna divert over here, come down, loop around, and then go into the train station. Trains going straight through are gonna go straight through as before, and trains turning and going out that way are gonna take this loop and then divert right here and then go down that way. Same thing with trains coming from this side, and nothing really changed for them. There's a loop that we take over here, hook up and go. The other thing that we could do to maybe avoid this right here is just give us a straight connection. Kinda, that's not gonna work. We've got a pillar there, but we could ask for something like this. That could work. Maybe a little bit prettier. There we go, something like that. So now we don't really have to have that there, but now what we need is a way for, well, no, actually we have that way for this side to go up this way. What we don't have, actually we have that as well. We've got a way from this side to come and go that way. This right here takes us down this way. I think we're covered on all fronts. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fix this really quickly. There we go. So it doesn't look all that bad. So let's see. We were at 70%, and just by making these changes with our railroad tracks, let's see where we're gonna end up. I'm gonna put the game on 3-speed, and I'm gonna leave it on this screen right here, and let's see what this does. Alright, so I am actually pleasantly surprised that just making those simple changes right there got us up by 16 to 17%. If you guys remember, we were at 70% in that current state. So 86, I've seen 87 as well, and we do have a bit of a challenging area right here that we're gonna work on next. So first, what I'm gonna do to try and solve some of the issue is I'm gonna turn off this traffic light right here. We've got one over here as well. We're gonna turn that off too. And there's something else that I noticed. There's pedestrians crossing the street over here, which isn't necessarily ideal, and they do clog up the traffic a little bit. It's kind of like this fella or that lady. Not quite. How about this? Yeah. So see, they're crossing the street right here. Not necessarily ideal. What we could do is we could build them either a underground path connecting this area to industry over here, so they could walk to work or bike to work. And then another thing that I noticed is there's a lot of pedestrian activity going on over here. So not necessarily a bunch of backups, but a lot of pedestrian activity. And guess what? They are all coming to... These are tourists coming to check out the ROJ Small Station Front Plaza. So let's pause real quick. We'll grab this fella. He's going to the ROJ. This lady right here with a suitcase. She's leaving the city after visiting the ROJ. Let's grab somebody over here on this side. So let's grab this fella right here. Oh, he's actually going to work. Same idea here. If we don't have to cross the street right here, if we have a better way to get across, we don't have to cross the street and cause additional congestion. Let me see if I can find maybe a few more people. She's going to the super pharmacy, ROJ, and is this one going to be an ROJ too? ROJ as well. All right, let's grab the, that's not a person. That is a stop sign. So just goes to show that yes, a lot of people are heading from the railroad tracks or the train station over here, walking to check out the ROJs and then go home. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of a couple of these. I actually did not mean to get rid of that very last one there. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna add a couple of small offices to fill in the area, and that's it. So we got rid of a couple there. I don't really have very many more set anywhere over here, although the plan was to utilize more of these later on. But we'll get rid of those. We'll replace it with offices, and then so that solves the issue of the tourists coming down this way into the industrial district, which makes absolutely no sense, but it is a game mechanic that we have to work around. Now the big issue is this traffic right here. My plan all along was to have this is going to be a very large industry area, as you might be able to tell, but my plan was to have a highway connection down here later on once we unlock this tile, and hook that up into the industry, so we don't have to use this side right here. But we don't have that tile yet, so what we can do to alleviate some of that traffic is we can build a very quick connection right over here on this side. So that's what we're gonna do, and it's not gonna be anything fancy, and it might even be temporary, but we're gonna do that there, and we'll come down and do that right there for now. Now, we're not going to have two connections, a way to get off and go out that way. It's going to be very simple, just a on and off type of deal. Okay, so again, nothing special, nothing permanent, temporary, and it's gonna hang out just like so. I'm actually gonna get rid of this just so we don't expand on it by accident. So I'm gonna resume the game here. That should alleviate a bunch of this traffic right here and divert it through this main road and out and this way. Now, obviously, those that are coming into the city or into the industry area can only come from this side, and if they're leaving, they can leave through here. So it's already getting some utilization. We'll let the game run a little bit and see where we're at. We're hitting that 88. There's a 89 for the first time, although nothing has changed here. Let's see if we can maybe even hit 90 or maybe even over 90. So 89, 88 right now. This right here does need to clear up. So there's a couple of ways that we can prevent pedestrians on here. We can come and we can upgrade everything to a highway, a 4-lane, 2-way highway with, do we want sound barriers? Yeah, let's use sound barriers. So we'll put that there. There we go. We've got this too, but that gets rid of a lane that's not necessarily what I'm after. What we could do is we could upgrade these sides as well, and that will pretty much eliminate any kind of pedestrian activity over here. I'll run that to there. We'll extend it all the way, and then why not upgrade everything since we're already there. And then over here we could mess with some one-ways. So this would be a one-way in and this would be a one-way out. I'd like to not do that because I feel like this is then gonna get backed up. Also, who's to say that we have to have it highway all the way through? What if we experiment with, I feel like here we have a asymmetrical 6-lane road. Yeah, there it is right there. So we'll do that. Let's upgrade this right here. So we get 4 lanes here, 2 turning and 2 going straight. And I feel like that's gonna help us coming in, not so much coming out. And then we could upgrade this right here and flip it. So we have a turning lane here, a turning lane here, and then 2 that could go either straight or left or right. And that got rid of it almost completely. Now there is one more thing that I'd like to do, and that is to prevent pedestrian crossings over here. We could also do a little bit of upgrading like so, and also mixing it in a little bit of highway. So right about there and right about there, and that, ladies and gents, gets us away from a crossing right here. So now these guys are forced to either drive, or not either, but only drive out this way. I guess they could also teleport. Maybe that's a thing in Cities Skylines. I don't know. But we're gonna be nice. We're gonna give them a way to get over here, and we're gonna give them an underground pedestrian path. So let's put that in here really quickly. Okay, so that'll do the trick there. So we have a way now to come through here and get over here on this side. Whether you work here or you're visiting one of the places, that's an option that they have. Now over here, I'd like to do the same thing, and I'd like to give us a connection from this side. Say maybe here, underground, coming over here, and then one more from this side over here. So let's start actually with this side. We'll get rid of road guidelines, and we'll grab so that actually gives us a very nice connection from this side to here and to here. And I wasn't really planning on zoning anything in this episode, but maybe we could fill in this area right here. So we got rid of the, oh no, we didn't. I guess this person right here. What are you doing? They just ran across, and he's going, or he is going to the 𝒂𝒂𝒃𝒂𝒕. My goodness. So they crossed right here, which they shouldn't have been able to cross right there. So that leads me to believe that we need to do one more thing, and that is to upgrade this part of the road right here into a highway. So now there really is no way to cross, or there shouldn't be at the very least. So we're gonna leave that there. Let's check on our traffic, and look at that, we are hitting 90% in traffic right now. We haven't even done the buses yet. So that's actually going to be next. And I said I wasn't planning on zoning anything. We have that screaming demand for residential. So I think we can add a little bit of residential over here. Alright, so there is actually one more thing. I was looking at the Smith Heights over here, and I'm not a big fan of these European high-density older buildings in here. So we're gonna change that. We are gonna extend Sheffield Hills all the way down to consume Smith Heights. Just like so, and then we're gonna run this district all the way into here as well. Now over here we're gonna have some high density residential homes, and they're gonna be the Brooklyn and Queens style there as well. I think we might even mix a little bit of offices over there on that side, but the big change is going to be over here. I'm gonna rework it just so we have buildings backing completely to the highway and the on-ramp over here, and then we're gonna come into here, and we're gonna activate the wall-to-wall office code to where it's going to zone everything. Everything that we put in as an office is going to zone it as a wall-to-wall. Now let's get rid of these buildings right here, and we're going to rework the street. Alright, so that's kind of what I had in mind there. And once all of this fills in, we're not going to have too much green space. If you guys remember, I said I wanted this to be more of a concrete jungle type of build right here. And now that we have all of those gaps covered with buildings that are in the future gonna go in, I feel like that's a better way to get to the concrete jungle. And I'm just gonna add a couple more parking spots right in there. Now we'll leave that alone. So that should fill in nicely. Now all we have left to do is we'll have some offices right there centrally, and then the rest of this stuff is going to be high density residential, just to satisfy that demand that we have. Nothing too fancy. We do have to sprinkle in a parking lot or two. I'm trying to find. Let's do one there, one there, and then maybe one all the way down here at the end. And I think that should work. So let's put the game back on 3 speed, and we'll let everything come in while we work on buses. And look at that, we are at the 91% traffic right now. This is going way better than I thought it would. So metros, trains, we need buses, and here we are, bus depot. So we'll plop one of those somewhere right about there. And now let's look at the bus routes. So the one place where we absolutely need a bus is over here at the train station. So these folks get in their cars, they cause a bunch of traffic in our city, going from one ROJ plaza to another. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with them first. We'll add that's not a bad area right there. So we'll add a bus stop right here. And then I'm gonna wanna take them for a ride through the city. So we are gonna come and we'll cross, and we'll put a bus stop right around here. So the idea here is going to be to cover kind of sort of this block right here with this route. So we'll have a stop coming through there that'll pick up some of these residents living here, and we can add a stop here. We can add another one down here. And one right there. Now we definitely have to stop over here, and then we can come and finish up. So we'll do that. Now let's put in another one. We're gonna go counterclockwise now as well. So clockwise and counterclockwise. We'll put a stop right here, and then we had one right in there. We'll come right there, and I think that's it. Now one thing that we're going to do for all of these buses is we're going to change them all to super bendy buses with the capacity of 100. So we'll do it for both of these lines right here, and we already have some people lining up. We're going to take a look and see if 7 buses here and 7 buses here is enough, and we'll continue on building. So we've got a bus line that covers this chunk of the city right here. Now we need a bus line that covers this chunk right here. Now this is just how I like to do it. It kind of covers everything in shorter routes, so there's not too big of a wait in between buses, because if you did this whole thing as one route, that would take forever. I don't know if I would take that bus myself. So let's come and we'll grab a bus stop right about there. And then we have to have one here, one all the way at the end. We've got a tiny little residential area here, so that'll be great to grab some folks from there. We've got some high density folks over here, so we can have a bus stop right there on that bend. And then not ideal to have anything here, but I don't know if a bendy bus can make that turn. But this is City Skylines, and that bendy bus will be making that turn. So we're gonna pick up some folks over here. I didn't want to congest this area right here too much with multiple bus stops or joining bus stops, because then they have to wait on one another. So we'll connect it right there. We'll come around and we'll go another counterclockwise like so. Or this is actually clockwise. The other one was counterclockwise. I'm already seeing a lot of foot traffic to get to these bus stops. I'm kind of excited to see what it's gonna look like. So let's go. We'll grab this yellow line here. We'll go with a super bendy bus, and then one more super bend. Oh my goodness, look at the amounts on this line right here. We've got over 300 in a couple of places. What about the other one? Not as busy. Not as busy, but that's all right. So we'll leave that there, and we've got this side and this side covered. Now we need to cover this side right here. So let's start again with a counterclockwise. Not a good place anywhere over here to put in a stop, but here on the end should work because they could walk and grab a bus right here. Now I'm gonna have a stop here as well. We're gonna run a little pedestrian pathway from the farming area to here, so we can grab the bus and get to work. Now over here there's a lot of places where people like to come, so I'm gonna plop a bus stop right in there. We've got a road right here, so I'm gonna add one right here, and then we've got to come this way. Now on this side we've got plenty of room to add an additional stop there, and maybe one right here right before we turn. So there we go. Now let's go clockwise. Okay, so let's take a look and see what's what. So bus line number 1. It's our very first one. We've got a decent amount of folks, 71% car trips saved. And 7 buses looks adequate right here. If anything, we could even decrease it a little bit. And we got bus line number 2. That is the counterclockwise, I believe. No, that's the clockwise. The other one was counterclockwise, and that one, I think 7 buses is sufficient as well. Let's come over here, bus line number 3, and oh my God, this one's crazy. This is, yeah. See, this one's covering a lot of residential over here. So on this one, I think for the time being, let's increase it to, I don't know if 10 will do it. I want to go with 12 buses here. So that's bus line number 3. What about bus line number 4? And see, that one's not that busy. Okay, let's go with number 5. Number 5 is fine. I'm gonna leave it. I feel like that traffic is gonna increase on that side there. And this one has way too many as it sits, but this one also just started, so I don't think these buses have actually made it to all of the stops just yet. So we'll leave it. We'll see how it works out. I'm gonna let the game run just for a little bit, and we have one more bus line to put in before we call it quits. Alright, so I have let the game run for a few minutes, and looks like we're still hanging around that 90%. When it comes to transportation, we're transporting a total of 1,400 citizens and about 300 tourists per week, which is pretty good. And then this lane, or this bus line right here, did stabilize, and now it almost seems as though we have too many buses. So I'm gonna put this down to 10, and hope that works over the next, or for the rest of the series. Really, this is something that we need to pay attention to kind of try and keep the traffic down. So like this one, for example, right here is the line right here where we don't have a whole lot going on, especially this whole stretch right here. I did say that we're gonna come and put in a pathway. So I'm gonna get rid of that and just enough to get us across. And we'll leave that there. And you'll notice that this bus stop and this bus stop right here do not match up. I felt like it's better to have it over here, so it's a shorter walk for these folks across and this way to catch the bus. A little bit more of an incentive. And then over here we've got a bus stop again. Not a whole lot going on, but this is going to be an area that we develop probably in the next episode. So I mentioned there's going to be one more bus line, maybe two, that we need to put in, and that is going to be a bus line that's going to take most of these working folks and put them over here where they most likely work. So with that said, I didn't necessarily have a lot of time to look through, but I'm thinking that we maybe put a bus stop over here behind the school, or should we put one closer to where we have actual residences? If we put one up here, that means coming back we've got to have a very long line. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So I'm gonna try it out. I'm gonna put a bus stop right here. We're gonna come out this way, maybe collect some folks behind the university, come down this way, and we should, that's gonna want to go down this way, which I don't want it to do. What if we stop right here and then come by? And this is going to be great because these tourists can now take a bus from here to visit the 𝒂𝒃𝒕 plazas, and we're going to put one somewhere central but off of the main road there. So we'll put one right about, actually let's go back one more, we'll put it right here, come around, and this is probably the most central that it's, no, actually up here is going to be the most central because we're going to develop this area as well. And then we're gonna go, I almost kind of want to go right back, so we'll go here, actually here, and then we're going to loop around and connect right there. Now for the time being, I'm going to leave this one as a single line there. It's not going to have a counterclockwise counterpart, I guess, because it kind of loops back on itself in some areas already. This is a trial line to see how it works. So we'll leave that just like so. And there's one more thing that I'd like to do before we end the episode is add some roads with buses. I was looking at this 6-lane road, and it's got a really nice, this one right here, 6-lane road with median trees and bus lanes. So all of these 4-lane roads that we have are going to be turned into this particular type of road, and I'm not going to bore you with this. We're just going to cut right to completion. Well, look at that, no trouble at all. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. I think we did really good. There's a couple more things that we have to do on this side before we start developing down this way. So we gotta do something with this little pocket right here, fill in a little bit more industry on this side. And I don't know how I feel about this, but we'll see. So far everything's working great. It looks like we might. Nope, that's all good. So everything's working great. We've significantly increased our or decreased our traffic percentage. We are at 88%, touching 91 in some cases. We've got a bit of a trouble spot right here. I wonder if I just turn off the light right here, if that'll fix it. Maybe not. Actually, you know what? I can't leave it as a issue. This since we've done so well. So we'll put in a one-way here and a one-way out this way, and I think that'll fix it. So coming in over here and getting out over here, no issue there. And look at that, 90%. So not very many red areas. Anything that's kind of reddish is predominantly just like these buses here, for example, just piling up. This cleared up. We've got this connection right here that's working beautifully. This might be a permanent thing if it ends up working so well. But that's all we're gonna do in this episode. So if you guys liked the episode and you felt like we made some good progress on traffic, give the episode a like. I would most appreciate it. If you have some issues in your city with traffic and you might need some help figuring that out, let me know. Maybe I can help. Toss a comment down below. And as always, be the best that you can be in everything that you do. And I will see you guys on the next one.